before I say anything about our show, I just want to point out that Justin, our OBS technician, is the worst at countdowns. The apps, just the worst. You can't compare. I'm
Hey,
like
you know
really
what?
heartbroken.
I had to click like 15 different things just to start. So
The countdown was 3. We're gonna go to 2 now. 1 real
okay.
quickly. 0. I've never done a 0 before. Go. Yep, we're doing that now.
Okay,
Hey,
so I
everyone
need
who's-
to like kill VLC, and then I need to mute my TV portion, then I need to unmute desktop, then unmute myself, and then go
And with
to
the
our
last 3
camera,
seconds, he
and
thought
then
about all
go
these
to
excuses.
transition. So, yeah.
Good job, Justin. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
keybind hotkeys, but that's fine. We'll move on to that. Everyone else, hello and welcome to Never Split the Party. I believe this is the 6th or 7th episode of season 2.
7.
Episode
Did
7
you-
of season 2.
Hey, Dustin.
Yes.
Did you update the stream
did.
title? Okay,
I
then.
certainly did.
All right, just making sure.
The title, the tentative title for this episode is Personal Problems. For anyone who
How
hasn't
come it
watched
says season 1, episode 6?
What?
I'm
It
just
actually
kidding.
says
I'm just
season
kidding.
1. It
You're
actually
good.
does say season 1, episode.
Oh, it really does say season 1.
Yep, it sure does.
I'm not dyslexic. You are.
All right, hold on. I can fix that, can I? Maybe without canceling it. Well, either way, we're playing Paizo's Starfinder, which, if you really needed a quick description, it's kind of like D&D in space, but we'll go away from there. And I will let the cast do some introductions while I try to fix the title that I screwed up. My name is Dustin. I also go by the Arbitrary Nerd. I'm going to make this last as long as I can because Patrick's holding, because he knows he's next for introductions, and it's really great having him hold that pose. Go, Patrick.
My name is, as he mentioned, Patrick. I just dropped my phone.
Start
That's
over.
a very unusual name. I like it.
In addition to that,
Start over so I can cut it.
Where's that last name from? What's the nationality behind that?
dumb. And
Hey, I'm from
I play a Lashunta envoy by the name of Reich Oren, who is right now not the happiest.
My name is Michael. I'm playing Zero, the android operative, pilot for our ship, and quite content, actually.
My name's Chris. I play Mila Datwood Abigail. I'm the ship's engineer. I'm also a mechanic. Dark and good one at it too.
I'm Nick. I play Brawl. He's a Soki soldier. And I kind of lost my temper a little bit, but we're going to see my family if they're still alive, so maybe good things.
They're not. You can't hit me. We haven't started yet.
I will reach into this screen.
So help me. My name is Justin. I play Seeker, the android technomancer, and he's pretty good right now. Guess he's kind of happy. Probably not going to be for long, but you know.
Why?
I don't know. Well, actually, no, he wasn't happy with Rye last time.
Too
Oh.
bad.
That's for sure. So.
Moving on from the.
Oh my God! Can we have a civil war? Team Ryan,
Yes.
Team Rye, Team Brawl.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'll allow
God!
it.
Boom.
I'll allow it. That's fine. Make it happen, Nick. I'm going to put that one on you. For tonight's episode, we will start with really brief announcements. We'll get into a really brief recap, and then we'll jump right into the episode.
Really brief episode.
Yeah, we'll see. If we go with everything I have prepared, yes. For the announcement, next Tuesday, we are still streaming, and we'll still be playing Starfinder. However, because Patrick is actually going to be out of the picture.
I'm going to Maine.
Yeah, well, sorry, anyone from Maine. I'm sure it's a lovely place with lobsters.
Not when I'm there.
That's also, yeah, very true. Sorry, Maine.
Take them. We don't want them.
For next week, we will be doing a special episode. It's going to be called, I think, Let's Be Bad Guys. It'll be a prequel episode. The 4 remaining players will be playing brand new characters in the Border Space Union military academy on Pistol, which is where our group now, the players, the crew of the Indecision got their start. So we're going to go back to basically the beginning, and we're going to see school life from the eyes of future NPCs. That's the goal. So in summation, check out next week for some more fun shenanigans, because I'm going to be a lot less tight on the storytelling. They don't really matter if they disappear forever, those NPCs.
I thought the technical term for our stream was shenanigasms.
No, absolutely false. Never again.
And there is one way that won't be happening, and that is if Brawl kills Rye tonight.
Yeah, actually, that's fair. I guess we could just go on with the regular show if he kills Rye tonight.
Well,
Can
I didn't
not
intend to
kill
do
Rye?
that, but if you want to make it happen, I can.
would actually
I'll
make
be
things easier.
obliged.
Yeah.
If you want to make it happen, just donate 3,184 bits.
No.
No, that's for the mix. It's got to be
You know
like
Keep your
6,000
money, folks.
plus that.
Keep your money. Don't sell out to the man.
We aren't the man.
I don't think we've revealed what the next stream boss is, at least
be
on stream.
Rye.
I don't know. I think I'd be willing to forego mechs for that if we ended up hitting it today. Just
Okay, fine. Fire sale. Special preemptive stream boss. We'll potentially skip the mech encounter. If the stream boss for some reason is beaten tonight, we will skip right ahead to
No.
Brawl versus the Party.
No,
which
that's it.
is the upcoming stream boss. Again, we'll do a quick fire sale tonight only.
Some people already donated wanting to see the mech fight.
Oh, they'll get the mech fight eventually.
Oh,
Maybe I'll just put Brawl in the mech.
This is called
Can we?
a
Yeah, there you go.
bait and switch, and it is illegal, sir.
hey, guess who doesn't have a mech?
Steven, put your money back.
Water Draco that was throwing all the bits at it. I'll get the approval from Water Draco. I'm pretty confident he's going to be on our side on this one, though.
Front door.
Thanks, Steve, for the bits. Steve's good people.
Stop it.
Moving on from there, so we can actually keep this thing rolling. So for the recap from last episode, they basically just came from the altercation between Brawl and Rye. Rye set out some really clear ultimatums. The party had some heart-to-hearts that are now on YouTube if you want to go check them out. And they made the plan to go to Versus. There was some hemming and hawing. Rye is still not happy about the plan to go to Versus, but the idea is that they do have a decent amount of time with which to hopefully play around with their wiggle room in terms of the Krellis situation. Reminder that they have a 5-day window hanging over their heads for Krellis to return. And as long as they're able to get off Versus before then, they should be okay. Right. We were about to board the Pirates shuttle that'll be taking them to Versus, the Rusted Chrome, which will be flown by Dustinian. Did I miss anything important for you guys for the recap before we jump right back in?
Did you mention how bad of a plan this was?
I believe I mentioned Rye's distaste. I think we can cover that there.
Yeah, but objectively.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it's fine.
I don't know. The rest of the party seems to think that this is an okay plan.
Simpletons. The rest of the party is simpletons.
I think the rest of the party are like 3 of the most intelligent beings ever.
And yet they're
Pretty
so
much.
dumb. They are so dumb.
Yeah, their intelligence goes pretty up there.
21 for
I'm
me.
guessing-
I think you guys have 21 as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pork, for helping take down the stream boss.
I
Brawl
think
don't.
mine's 15 or 17.
Brawl don't.
No, Dustin. Pork is the stream boss. She
Oh,
just healed
thank-
the stream boss.
Wait, is that how that works?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
What?
That's hilarious.
Wait, what? How'd she heal it?
Because
she-
if you are the boss and you throw damage towards it, it actually heals you.
What?
That's hilarious.
Well, it looks like Patrick does have somebody on his side, and I actually have no idea how stream boss works.
That or Pork didn't know that.
Go team Pat and Pork.
All right. You know what? I'll give another announcement then, only because Pork reminded me. If you guys actually pop onto Kickstarter, Creatures of Vathis had a relaunch, and it has been a very successful relaunch. They actually got funded in under 24 hours. Now we're just working on stretch goals. I've backed them earlier, but if anyone else really wants to get some really awesome D&D 5th edition monsters and hopefully hit that Pathfinder stretch goal, I don't know if we've actually hit that yet or they've hit that yet on their end. definitely go check that out. I'm pretty excited for it. I do love me a good monster manual, and it's not like I don't have a billion monster PDFs already, but these ones look really cool. I'm a fan of all the art, so definitely check that out. That is my last announcement. We're gonna get right back.
I have one.
God damn it, go for it.
So this Saturday, if you're able to participate on my Twitch channel, I'm doing a drunken Mario Kart stream. So you are more than welcome to come and join. The more terribly that I do in the race placements, I'm gonna be drinking much more. So feel free to drop by.
Yes, and it sounded
And-
pretty drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better not be drinking and driving.
God, you
Yeah, we don't actually promote on Never Split the Party drinking and driving. I cannot speak for the Awesomeness Dude channel though.
Yeah. Well, I'm not promoting it. I'm doing it digitally, sure, but never in reality.
Drinking
Do
in
as I
carton.
say, not as I do. Okay, great. Any other announcements before I curse again?
Nope, that's it.
Fantastic. We pick up with our plucky party as we are entering into the hangar bay for the mothership. As the group steps down into it, they take like an elevator down into this area. They go past where the Indecision is parked, and the mothership's crew of engineers have already begun working on the ship, which is something that they mentioned last episode that they'd be helping you guys out with while you're leaving the ship docked with them safely. The commander of the ship, the commander of the pirates in total, Lahris, a gnome who seems to suffer from alopecia, pulls on Seeker's sleeve and kind of pulls him back into an alcove while the rest of the party follows Dustinian towards the rusted chrome, the shuttle. If everyone, as Nick has already kind of gotten to, could take off their headphones other than Justin, I would appreciate it.
Really? Already? Damn.
Spam. I'll be honest, this is only because I forgot to do it last episode. So we're going to come back to the gnome pulls you aside, and after waiting time, we get a considerable distance, making sure that Zero, with his swiveling eyes, doesn't actually linger, puts his hands on his hips and says, "I'm not going to make a big issue out of it, but I would like to know your relation to the bounty hunter that so graciously became our guest not long ago."
Well, I owe him a favor, apparently.
That seems unhelpfully vague.
Well, back when we were saving, trying to save Pyramid Station Alpha before the incident, I offered him a favor and he took it.
Why would a famed bounty hunter in the Revel system want any favor from you?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Justin, you getting some background noise? Or is that just me?
I'm getting background noise too.
Hmm.
Where
It's
that's
probably
coming
someone
from.
is leaning on their mic or something. Laris looks nonplussed, does not believe you pretty clearly. He's making that evident on his face. And he says, "In the interest of time and getting your soon-to-be deceased Yosoki friend off of my boat, I'm going to let you go with that as an answer. When you come back, I expect something better, or you'll be learning why we are considered pirates."
I think I could probably do that. I just need to kind of, fix some stuff around our group first.
You do you. Just remember, when you come back to the mothership, I will personally be waiting for you.
Okay. That sounds good. It was great talking to you. Thank you for spending so much time with us.
He kind of waves you off, but as you turn to leave, he says, "One more thing. Take care of Dustinian.
Oh, of course.
That is all." And he turns and kind of makes a hasty exit towards the elevator. And if we could have everyone come on back. Steve knows all the secrets. Yes, he does.
Hello.
Hey, Somebody's got some mic feedback going on. Not sure if it's just because you guys had it maybe leaning on something. I know Chris is muted, but nobody else is. Oh, yours is muted, but your headset. So it looks like we got Nick or Michael as possible contenders.
Mine was muted up until I said hello.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I can only see Chris's muted mic because he's using the Zoom mute feature.
I was muted on my actual microphone.
Interesting. Justin, is it you or me?
Nope. My mic is gated, so.
What was the noise?
But if we don't hear it again, I'm gonna let it go. It's just a little like fuzz, intermittent
cars.
fuzz. Like what?
Kind of like cars going by.
Yeah, okay. I could say kind of like cars going by. All right, I'll let it go. That's fine. Seeker kind of catches up with the rest of the group as you guys are brought to a sectioned off hangar, which has just a row of beat up looking transport shuttles. It seems to be this hangar's function. There are multiple hangars attached to this very large ship they call the mothership. You guys have only been access to the one that the Indecision's docked in, and now you've seen this one. They're playing really cagey with giving you access to the rest of the ship. Not particularly sure why, but you guys can investigate if you want. Otherwise, Dustinian brings you over to a relatively dinged up looking craft. It is got to be pretty much your standard expected transport class ship. It's a little bit dated. It's a little bit dinged up. It's kind of like a icky brownish color. It is completely serviceable. It's got a large cargo bay in the back. It's got very clear and obvious engines to either side, which are easy to repair, take apart, dismantle. And then it's got, crew quarters that would be in the middle of the ship and a cockpit up front. Very much your cookie cutter transport class. It is a Flame Moth class transport. You guys would see them or types like this all over the galaxy. They're very basic. Yeah, thank you, Justin, for someone actually getting it.
Flame Moth, really?
In terms of the ship, nothing special. It's got some really basic weapons that are forward facing. This is not a combat craft. This is something they use to fly under the radar, which because that's kind of how they've pitched this kind of journey to you. You're going to take a quick drift travel for 3 days to Verces. You will land. Dustinian will guide you in and drop you off where you need to go. And that's the plan.
I bet we could
Dustinian.
still scare some people with this ship, though. Especially some drunk people at a bar.
Yeah, some locals who can't tell. Yeah, you're fine. I will say this is actually armed. It does have a forward-facing gun, but even so, Firefly
our
references
plans to
aside.
get off the planet.
Plans to get off the planet. You guys can work that with Dustinian. I'll let you guys do that kind of in scene. Dustinian standing in front of the ship, gaudily. And for those who don't remember, Dustinian is the space pirate they encountered in the first episode of the season, I think. And he is noted by his. He seems to be human or humanoid, and he's got long, flowing, golden locks of hair. He wears a suit that has a deep V, so it shows excessive amounts of curly chest hair. He is not at all what you'd consider space ready. If he hit open vacuum right now, he would be in a ton of trouble. He does not seem to follow safety precautions when it comes to that. It cramps his style. And he says, we'd like to welcome you all to the Rusted Chrome, my personal favorite of these little beauties that we keep down here. Before we board and get right going to the drift, do any of you all have any questions?
This ship has so much character to it. Oh, it's almost shabby looking, but I love it.
It's not almost.
It's in working condition, guys. Don't worry.
You say that from the outside.
Do you have a problem with my ship?
Me? Absolutely not. He says as Miller walks onto the ship.
It's
He
free
says-
transport.
I like the idea of him saying he says as he walks onto the ship out loud in character.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know why.
Nothing Dustinian as he walks onto the ship.
He's picking it up from Seeker now.
Yeah.
God, I've been hanging out with him too much. Too much.
So, how much of this is duct tape?
Probably a lot.
Well, I'm not overly sure, but at least it wasn't put together by goblins.
Hey,
It'll
Nazi
probably
was,
explode.
he was trained by the best.
He says as he lies through his teeth.
Are you making fun of my teeth? I polish those.
I can see you. You haven't walked into the ship.
He's
I
still
can
yelling.
see your tail. It didn't clear the doorway. You're right there.
All right, I'm getting on the ship.
Well, I'm going to suppose we don't actually have any objection then. We can move along.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Suppose I don't really have much of an option.
Nope.
Nope.
Let's go.
All right. Just so people have a kind of a picture of kind of what we're describing. It is. We're going to pop it over to roll 20. I need to bring my players over to the correct map. That's our ship. Let's get to the right ship. There we go. This is another zerohour.com spaceship. And again, they all do have conversions for Starfinder, which is really cool and why I keep throwing money at their PDFs. Definitely recommend checking it out. This one did not cut as well as the last one, but I only needed it for about 10 seconds, so I didn't actually try to get probably the better PDF version that because he usually has a bunch of pictures in the file. This is fine for now. This is what the ship looks like. Don't really worry about it too much because I don't think we'll actually be doing too much in the ship. But you've got your standard transport class, very basic structure. And nothing, as Miller kind of goes through and inspects the ship, kind of every important area, there's nothing alarming about the ship. It's serviceable and they use it frequently. It's a well-used, well-oiled ship. Probably
Guys, don't worry. It's a well-used and well-oiled ship.
probably thanks to Gil there.
It's well oiled because of the oil leaks.
No, it's well-oiled because of Gil.
Who?
I don't even know why I'm here.
I don't know why I'm here. Oh.
It's probably well oiled because I'm putting oil on it right now.
Sika?
Yes.
Probably not.
Probably
I
not.
hate all of you.
That's not oil. It's oil painting.
Close enough.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm going to head to the captain's chair. We'll see you all wherever you need abouts. We're going to get taken off now. Take a look around the ship. If you have any questions, let me know.
I try to run and beat him to the captain's chair. I won't know my way around. Kidding.
I'd still let you. I mean, it's literally a straight shot. Like you can't f it up. I don't know how we would do it. Like, give me a dexterity check. Let's see how an opposed dexterity check goes to see who gets there kind of first.
Come on, Trip.
I'm showing a 7 plus his dexterity is not good, so I'm gonna say it's probably an 8.
8.
So wait, they get in the seat together. Cannon.
They both
Dustin,
Who sits on whose
They
lap?
run down the hallway.
It is. It's like a sprint down the hallway, shoulder to shoulder.
Get
You're
stuck
both
in the
keeping
door.
eyes to make sure you know where you're going, but it is just a straight shot. You guys both come from around opposite sides of the chair. You both sit in on it. Justinian waits a fraction of a second so that he slides in on your lap. I'm upset by this. Can I be your co-pilot, maybe?
For out of character knowledge, the captain's chair is not the pilot's chair.
Oh
is it?
God, no, absolutely not.
Right. So I say, yeah, you can be the co-pilot. Go talk to Zero. And I begin trying to push him off.
He gets off.
Oh dear.
Why me?
Oh, spoof.
Pat, you're the charismatic one.
He slides off without resistance. Nope, that didn't.
Oh no.
He does what you ask, and we're gonna leave it with that.
Oh, what the-
Whoa.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
end it
that
there.
one was bad.
End it there. I can't do this. He says, "Well, I'm not much for the strong silent types, but thanks anyways." And he kind of saunters off to. He takes up. There's two. There's a comm area. He hangs out in the comm area.
So he chose Seeker.
I lean back, I kick my feet up, and I reach into my chest pocket, and I pull out the ugliest little shaved rat doll that you've ever seen, and I place, what did I call him? Fighty?
I don't think it was
Punchy?
fighty.
No, it wasn't punchy.
It wasn't punchy.
Mm.
It was stupid.
It was something dumb, yeah. I think it was Fighty.
We'll Fighty for now.
It's Fighty for now. He'll have an ever-changing name. And I place Fighty up on a shelf or some ledge next to the chair, and I just sit back. It's good to be the captain.
For everyone else, anything you guys need to do immediately when you get on the ship, or do you want me to start jumping to the next day?
Jump.
Yeah.
All right.
Seeker would probably just be checking it out, just exploring,
I'm
finding
sure Miller would
nooks and
too.
crannies, and claiming a room. Well,
Perception checks from both of you.
I got 20.
perception 6. Where is it?
It's like Justin's never
14.
played this game before. What was that?
14.
14. I think the only thing that you get from the ship as you go through Seeker is that it does have a lot of character, which I suspect appeals to your aesthetic design.
Yep.
It looks lived in, but clean. Not pristine by any means, but there's not like goblin spook laying around or anything, or concerns like that.
Unlike our
Miller,
ship.
as you're going around, you notice everything's in extremely well functioning order. These engines are actually better than on the Indecision. Because they've been refitted pretty consistently. They keep the ship up to date. Also, as you're going around, you pick out a couple of spots that are clearly hidey holes for smuggler ill-gotten goods, maybe a couple of wall panels that pop out, and you just kind of pick it up because you're just kind of used to getting into these nooks and crannies on ships, part because you're Isoki, part because engineering's your thing, part because you're nosy as F. And so you have a couple of, in the back of your head, if you need them, smuggling compartments that seem to be pretty decently equipped.
Cool. I will keep that knowledge to myself.
Perfectly fine. Dustinian doesn't give any additional information from on the ship itself without prompting. If you guys want to talk about it, for the most part, I don't expect the ship to be a big part of it, but I never know with you guys. For now, we'll fast forward where the mothership and the rest of their little pirate fleet is leaving their dock. They've kind of left because it was exposed to the Border Space Union, and they don't want to deal with that. They're now kind of becoming a migrant fleet for now until they find a new landing area. And you guys break apart from the mothership. Takes about 3 minutes of your ship kind of drifting through space to initiate the drift drive. Space expands and then pops back in. And you guys are in the pretty familiar to you odd infinity of the drift, which is another plane of existence that allows you to travel vast distances in the material plane in just a matter of days. You guys are doing a relatively easy jump. You're going in system from the Diaspora to Verces. And we have, do we say 3 or 4? I don't remember actually.
I think it was
3 or 4 days of travel.
I think it was
you
4,
said,
man.
you said 3 this session. but
Yeah, I don't know
think
if I
it's 4
lied. Did I
last
say-
session.
Okay, we'll stick with 4 because I think that's what Rye had planned for his deal. That makes sense. You guys have 4 in-game days. Give me 1 to 2 things you're doing, or if you have a character you need to talk to, feel free to have that conversation. And if we need to do headphones off for other players because you guys who have particular plans, we can totally do that, and I'm okay with that. I think use this time if you guys want to give more character backstory, feel free to get into that. We don't need to keep it secret from the viewers. Feel free to keep it secret from Rye though if you want. Let's see. And yeah, we'll give me some initiative rolls and I'll kind of judge who kind of goes first with what they want to do.
7.
11.
18.
16.
Was that all?
Oh, I rolled a nat 1. I got an 11.
I
So I
think
still beat Seeker.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yep.
I think Brawl is first.
Brawl, Rye, 0, Sika, Milla.
Hold on, I have my little character tents. Brawl, Rye, Seeker, Miller.
No, 0, 0, Sika, Milla.
Thank you. 0 is knocked over. All right, I have my character tents up. Brawl, if you need to parse out your days, that's fine. Just give me day 1. What are you doing day 1? The ship is comfortable, but it doesn't have many amenities. There's no like holodeck for entertainment. It's like there's books and maybe some standard movies and maybe a rec room for like gym stuff. Like maybe you'd be able to get your swole on or whatever.
Yeah, man, I can't miss a day at the gym. I guess I would just take a note that there is a lack of like crew quarters for how many people we have here. So for the 4 days, it's going to be a little stuffy, and I try to make sure that I'm not spending this day around Rye.
Are there only 3 crew quarters in here?
There's the captain's quarters and then 2 crew quarters, each with 1 bed.
Nice. I'm gonna let that be canon. So what are you doing for your rooming situation? Just a curiosity check for me.
So I would pretty much be adamant that I'm staying in, let's say, the room on the port side of the ship, and I'm assuming that Rye will not be in that room, unless he is.
Rise in the captain's quarters.
Yeah,
I
it's
figured
that
as
you picked
much.
the room closest to the captain's quarters, if that matters.
No, that
Okay,
it's
there's
still
enough
away.
separation,
Oh,
but they
great.
are
I
the
get
yeah.
to hear him mouth breathing.
But well, I'll get to it at the end of this day. So come back to me at the very end of the day.
I'll come back to you at the very end of the day. Next up, Rye, what are you doing with day 1 of 3? And again, 1 to 2 things. We're trying to keep it quick-ish, but feel free to go into character combos, definitely. Oh, you also, just as a reminder, we're planning on using some Lashuta BS.
Oh, yeah. So at some point in time, if we're ever in a situation where everyone's kind of in one general area, if it's been enough time, I would like to do mind ready.
You're going to have 4 opportunities to do mind ready during this travel.
Mhm. So the can you actually come back to me because I want to look up the appropriate math?
0, you're up.
Thank you.
For the most part, we'll be sticking to the pilot's chair, getting used to this ship and getting used to its handling.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure that you're not kind of sluggish on that one. Maybe even give you a bonus if we have to get into it. Could I have you give me a computers check?
15.
I'm not in the wrong. I couldn't see your roll. So for that, you have access to the infosphere for the Pact Worlds. Previously, you guys have not had direct access to this because you've been stuck in the vast. Is there something you want to look up that you think would be pretty common knowledge in the Pact Worlds, maybe about Verses or about the other places, just in case, because now you have a little bit of access and you can kind of see what the status is. That 15 is like a general like info roll, very surface stuff, but is there anything you'd want to be researching?
Maybe it'd be something along the lines of who's currently like controlling each planet.
That's a great question. I have some notes prepared for it, but I don't know if I actually finished all of that. Let me take a quick look through my other. Damn, that was a good one. That's a great question. I actually had a plan to write that all out, and I'm lazy. Oh no, here we go. So, will you do some quick reviews? The corpse fleet, which at the forming of the pact, which is years ago, when the Pact Worlds became the Pact Worlds, they exiled the corpse fleet, who were not happy with Eox joining like in arms with the living sentient beings. They did not like that. They think they're above living fleshy organics. They broke off and they're kind of not nice. They've apparently been welcomed back with open arms, and in fact, after the some might say suspicious, but that's propaganda, death of some key Eoxian leadership, the corpse fleet has actually taken over leadership of Eox and has been a staunch supporter and member of the Triumvirate, which is the now leading party that has taken over the Pact Worlds. The Vescarium right now have taken over a large portion of Triaxis, and they currently govern that planet. They haven't necessarily made any motions where it's now part of the Vescarium, but they definitely have self-governance over there. And the public story that you're able to find is that it is part of a homogenation where, again, part of the Triumvirate is the Vescarium. They're trying to make them more integrated with the Pact Worlds by giving them an actual planet to, have their own build up, cities, towns, colonies on. Triaxis has its own prior population. It is a planet in the Pact World that is, populated, but the Veskarium has taken ownership of it per se. The rest of the planets, as far as you were able to tell, have their own normal governance, but everything has some sort of reference to or deference to the Gerson sphere, which is the border space union that's been transplanted into the Pact world, led by your friend from the video of last season, Durlith Gerson, I think it was.
Yep.
Thank you. That's about the skinny of it. There are a couple planets that are always a little bit weird, like Octurne. What's going on with that? The Drow seem to still be doing their own thing on the planet whose name I've forgotten at this moment. So everyone kind of is still present where they were before, just with some major shifts. Triaxis, Eox, and then overall, there's a pervasive kind of presence of the Gerson sphere. I'll let that be. That's going to be what your search gets because it wasn't quite high enough to get some of the meatier details. And I think that'll be good for day one, unless I'm cutting you out or anything, Zero.
No, that was it.
Okay. Seeker.
I'd be kind of walking around and just pulling little pranks or doing little things around, like changing the colors of stuff with token magic. Just like, oh, a toaster. It's purple now. Or like following people around and making ghost noises. Literal and the magic ghost noise. So
just to be a nuisance. What's Seeker's motivation?
Just having fun.
I.e.,
using
bored.
some magic, basically. Just feels like using magic.
Okay. All right. It's probably the first time that Seeker's been at any kind of rest for a while.
Yeah.
While you guys were in the vast, you guys were pretty much on the run the entire time. And now that you've kind of landed in the Pact world, you've left the Diaspora. Yeah, I could see you maybe taking advantage of some downtime to be a general pain in the butt. Sure.
Yep.
Anything else?
Not really. I'm kind of waiting for Rye to talk to me, but
Okay.
I'm not
We'll
going
see
to
if that
follow
happens.
up on that myself.
I'm good to jump back in if.
All right, I'll put you in front of Miller, but Miller's up next. So go for it, Rye.
Okay, so if ever everyone's in roughly the same area, but especially Seeker, I'd like to try to detect thoughts, and I wanted to double check the math. That's why I had the pause.
Sure.
The number that we had guessed was pretty close as to what the DC was supposed to be. Should be 15.
Okay.
For and it's I believe it's a will save.
Yeah, it should be a will save of DC 15. Brawl, I've got one question for you. When Rye enters a room, do you leave it, or are you okay being in his presence for like meal times?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Then yeah, during a mealtime, and I would say probably one mealtime each day, you're able to get a shot at everyone.
That's actually would you allow me a modification if I'm practicing, if I'm doing cooking? Maybe I can distract them one way or another with the food.
Yeah, I'd tell you what.
Even if it doesn't give a bonus, I'm gonna do it.
Give me a roll to see how good your food is. We'll use the kind of comfort homebrew rules we were looking at. What was that?
11.
11? Nah, it's a 0 bonus.
Yeah.
You made food that's just plain.
Yeah. Enjoy your toast, everyone. Brawl.
But if you do this again for the next couple of days, depending on how well your food gets, I could see giving you a static bonus for their distraction.
Yeah.
For now, so kind of as everyone's kind of digging into their food, you use your Lashunta detect thoughts, right? Is that what it's called?
So everyone does a will test for 15.
17.
10.
15.
I gotta go to the sheet because it didn't work.
Well, just roll a d20 for now, and if you hit above it, we're good, and then we check your will after.
Yeah, that works.
What's the DC?
15.
15.
If I did the math right, which is what I'm going with.
Oh.
What was the roll?
Oh, you're slowly progressively getting better. You rolled a 1, then a 2, now a 3.
All right. So the way, just to reiterate, the way detect thoughts works is
Does Destinian need to
Is it
roll?
just surface thoughts?
Yeah,
He does
Destiny will roll.
first round is I detect the presence.
Details.
I detect the presence or absence of thoughts from conscious creatures. That's whatever. In the second round, you detect the number of thinking minds and the intelligence score of each if the height of blah, blah, blah. Third round, you read the surface thoughts of any mind in the area. A target who succeeds at its will save prevents you from reading its thoughts, and you must cast Detect Thoughts again to have another chance. So it's basically on the third round, I can read their surface thoughts. Until
Yeah,
then,
we'll skip right to
finding
the
conscious people.
Yeah, we'll skip right to the third round. Right now, you've got access to Brawl surface thoughts, you've got access to Zero surface thoughts, and you've got access to Destinian's surface thoughts.
Oh, that treasure trove. I can only imagine.
Do I
Yeah.
notice?
I
You tried?
I don't think there would be anything to notice.
I know that's usually our thing, is that if you're trying to detect somebody's thoughts,
I'd
and
say
you
he's got enough
failed.
time where he's not trying to do it on the fly, where he could kind of do it subtly. I'd probably give it to him.
Yeah, I don't see anything in here about it being like
No. Justin's calling out my own homebrew, like
Right,
how
I
I
understand.
address mental effects.
I
I'm going to
gotcha.
say, in terms of this, you have a lot of time to devote to this. I'm not overly worried about it. Most of the things we do are rush jobs, like
Yeah.
everything we do. I'm going to give this one a pass just because I want to make it a little bit easier to get this going.
So I've got Zeros, Brawls, and Dustinians, you said. I will start out with Brawl.
So what Brawl's thinking is pretty much he's showing concern for his family. It's on his mind a lot right now. Nothing much more than that. He can't wait to get to Verses to confirm whether or not they're okay.
When
Is Ryan on his surface thoughts at all?
During meal times, no. If anything, he might be a little annoyed with him there, but nothing like, oh man, I hate this guy, he's the worst. Nothing like that.
What about Zero? I'm less interested, by the way, in like, man, this is bad toast. More like juicy secret thoughts that you would have in the background, maybe possibly coming up.
Well, I would say feel
course
free to
it's-
give your surface thoughts Zero, and then Rye, if you have any questions, ask. But it is very much surface thoughts. So
Yep, I understand. I cannot dictate what comes out of this.
Yeah, but you can definitely ask if it's something there that you were kind of thinking of. It might also prompt the players, like, yeah, okay, that'd be on my character's mind. So I'm
Yep.
okay with that. Just know that this isn't quite a mind probe.
So you gloss over the fact, or you hear the fact that Zero has placed bugs on the comms and the messages, that he knows when things are going to be any messages outgoing or incoming.
So he's spying on the ship.
On the Rusted Chrome.
Okay, and those are just the ship comms.
Yes, just the ship comms.
Okay. Zero bugs ship comms. Okay. Hit me with it. What's that long-haired freak doing?
So he is thinking about Verses, approach to Verses, because it is a little bit more complicated than anyone's letting on. You get some quick shots that there is actually going to be border space union interference, almost definitely. So he's kind of thinking about how to navigate that, and he's kind of got that going in his mind. He's almost got like a little play going back and forth in his head, where like he thinks up conversations between him and the border space union, and then as he starts thinking about plays, he begins to think about Rye, and very quickly Rye without clothing, and then he shakes his head really quickly and replaces it with pictures of Laris. Laris is not wearing clothing, hairless everywhere, so alopecia is probably accurate. Quickly shows up with Laris and Rye in the same picture, and he just goes back to thinking about Verses in the approach.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay. I would probably not approach Miller on this specific day. I'm hoping to get some ammunition ahead of time.
Okay. For
At least
now,
to be prepared.
for now, we'll call day one over.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Miller. We
Miller.
had to jump to Miller. I'm so sorry. And I got to jump back to Brawl at the end. So Miller,
Yeah.
go.
So very much like Seeker, Miller is kind of left with a lot of time on his hands. He checks out the engine room because in the indecision, there was always something going on. There's always something to replace, always something to fix. So he always had his hands in something. However, the ship's quite immaculate. There's nothing for me to do. So like he goes to check on a few things, and it's already fixed. It's actually done pretty good. All right, let's nope, this is also pretty good. So he just kind of sits down, and for the first time in over a year, he finally has some introspection. Finally has a minute to himself, and he decides to actually look up the what's going on in his home planet of Akaton.
Sure. Give me a computers check.
24.
24. Yeah, that's a pretty decent check for that. Let me get to Akaton. Now, Akaton was spared impact from the dome, correct? We had one plan, and you guys had actually averted that with the help of the Vermilion Blur. So when you get news on Akaton, it actually seems like not much has changed surface-wise. Akaton is a desert planet. It's a dying planet for all intents and purposes. It's been mined to death. There are giant metropolises that still spew out nasty smoke polluting the atmosphere. It's not like a clean, nice place to live. Doing a little bit more digging, though, you actually notice that, barring the fact that a space station was not dropped on the planet, the Gerson sphere, the Border Space Union of old, they actually seem to be good for the planet. They have, so they can't really terraform the planet because for the most part it is like well past being like really saved, but they're doing as much as they can relief effort wise, as if this was one of the planets in the vast. The whole goal of the Border Space Union was to support like new colonies, new places starting up, or support planets that are way far out of touch and just couldn't get the real like materials, resources they needed. And they seem to be taking this approach to Akaton, which is a little weird because it's a member of the Pact world. It's not by any means like a starving, impoverished world. It's just literally dying. It's been used up. But they're doing everything in their power to make sure that the populace is fed. The populace has access to new clean medicine. They've got some rehab shelters that have been built up that are they're all internal structures, but they're helping to like filter out pollutions and things like that. For all intents and purposes, the Border Space Union seems to see the best things that ever happened to Akaton because this is their jam. This is what they've always done, and they've just transported their tactics to Akaton. Akaton's still dying. It still has all of its issues. But in terms of that, they've got like a really big, it's not just a PR piece, but the people of Akaton, and like you see this as you're reading message boards and you're going into, websites and reviews of things. They're very much pro the Border Space Union.
Cool. Let's see. So Miller's town is right outside of Maru. Maro. Maro is built into a gigantic crater, not crater, like ravine almost.
Yep.
Anything going on in that area? He's hesitant to actually look up his town.
Nothing in particular, although it does seem that the Border Space Union has been trying to utilize the ravine in terms of building space. They are building giant, trying to make self-sustainable factories that are strictly devoted to processing atmosphere over this ravine. It has been a fool's errand almost, but they are actively utilizing it, and the people along that have kind of built their homes into this area or along this area, they're actually getting benefits of they're being hired as workforce, so they actually are getting more and more jobs than ever before. Again, mostly not successful, but in terms of the area, it seems to be almost prospering as much as they can.
All right. Cool. Yeah, that feels Miller with a bunch of mixed feelings, but I think that's about all I'm going to be doing. Not going to pursue it any further.
I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Because that rift you're talking about is nearly 3 miles vertically from the surface to the chasm floor, 1,000 lights. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, nothing big other than that. So more work than normal. All right, we'll close out the day with Brawl. What exactly are you doing?
So it's just some flavor text. At the end of the night, when everybody's retiring to their quarters, Brawl actually sleeps standing in his power armor.
Okay, good to know. That's got to be uncomfortable, but you do you, bro. All right, just little soaking his giant power armor, just dead weight. All right,
Yep.
basically hang that boy up on a coat rack. We're good. It's fine. All right. Dustinian keeps himself for the most part. He's keeping busy in the cockpit. He maybe utilizes the rec room and he'll talk to anyone who does approach him, but beyond that, he's actually not actively pursuing anyone. We move on to day 2 of 4. Brawl, anything special you're going to be doing days 2, 3, or 4?
So at this point, now that he's kind of settled into the ship for a day,
Yep.
He would be very almost reluctantly searching the network for information on Kashak.
Okay. Yeah. Is that how we pronounce it? Let me take a quick look. I'm actually going to bring are we still on Roll20 view?
We are now.
Okay. Were we on Roll20 view when I was describing the ship?
Yep.
Thank you. Over here, we've got a map of Verces from the Packed Worlds PDF from Paizo. And what Brawl is referring to is like his home country, Kashak, and he probably lived on the kind of northern end of Kashak. As you attempt to get some information on your home area in Verces, could you give me a computer's check to see what you can find on your Spoogle search?
Yes. And then this is actually going to be 14, no bonus, regardless of what it posted in Roll20.
With a 14, you actually get semi-disheartening news. It seems like information in and out of Verces is on a tight lockdown. You get the reasoning behind this is that Verces has been the site of multiple terrorist attacks, starting with the pistol incident, but not stopping there. And maybe even starting a little bit before. You're not quite able to lock down. And so basically the planet has gone into a bit of seclusion, uncommon for Verces, but not uncommon for other Pact World planets, just kind of to maintain itself. You do see like everywhere, like the Gerson sphere logo kind of stamped on these, like, Verces has, relief services are being taken away. You can still visit Verces with appropriate visas, but there's a lot of relief efforts kind of focusing on it. It's on the tail end. It's been a year since they've really been working on this, but it does seem like not a lot has come out, and there's not anything like. So you can quickly find that there has been a major incident on the planet with a space station impacting it. That's news. That's known. In terms of the actual fallout from that, it seems like it's been kept under wraps. Maybe to prevent panic. Maybe because it wasn't as bad as it looks. Hard to tell. It does seem like mum's the word on Verces.
Oakley dokley.
Is there anything you do differently day 3 and 4?
Not unless there's something else by any of the other party members.
Okay.
To push him to do so.
Okay. Right, coming back to you. Other than the mind ready bits, anything you're going to do differently days 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, well, it depends on the mind ready bits.
Okay, that's a good call. Let's go day 2. Fast forward to maybe breakfast or however long it takes you to rest your ability to look into people's minds. Give me a
Food
roll
check.
to see how you cook.
I made cereal.
No, 15 is actually pretty decent.
No, he got a 6.
not-
That was Miller making the will save.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you make cereal, and then you do your.
I'm sorry, everyone. The French toast with cream fraiche. That wasn't cream fraiche, and the toast wasn't very French. So, it, enjoy your. I'm sorry, Miller. It's not crunchy crunch. It's,
Did you just make cinnamon toast crunch?
it is health food pellets.
Oh, just like I got at home.
It says eat, but just eat it. Just eat it. Don't worry about anything else. And then I do my mind checkaroonie.
The only one who has failed your mind check is Zero again.
God damn it.
Uh,
Zero. Are you thinking about anything that you've observed through the comms? Which would probably come through Dustin to you, and then
unless somebody ends up sending out comms from the group, Justinian's not, and there's been no incoming messages. Brief show of hands or yays or nays. Anyone attempting to send out messages for any reason? That's
Nope.
yeah, okay. So no outgoing comms, no ingoing comms.
Zero, do you have any surface thoughts on any members of the crew or concerns?
That's a good question.
So the only concerns that would come across would be whether or not the relationship between Brawl and Rye is going to be a problem for us.
Okay. So there's no concerns regarding the artistic one?
No, because you guys retconned it.
Oh yeah, the fact that you guys are speaking and then kind of step back from that. Yeah, no, I think that's probably fine.
That's fair. Okay. Then I think on day
You guys talked to Krellis without me being present.
yeah. On day 3, regardless of the role, I'm gonna talk to Seeker.
Yay, that's
I
me.
just want to try to see if I can get the upper hand on anything.
Give me your food roll.
For day 3?
Yeah, we'll skip to day 3 for now. Yeah.
I'm more health pellets for everyone.
I'm trying to help you, man. Everyone, do me a favor. Give me another set of will saves.
I got 16. Oh, yep, we both got 16.
What about Justinian?
Tell you presently, I gave him a +1 bonus before, so he rolled exactly a 15. Yeah, you're
Okay. Well, when we get to day 3, I will pop that conversation.
There is a day 4.
That's true.
You want to give it one more go?
No.
Okay.
No, I want to have that conversation because if something comes up, I want to have a day to figure it out.
I'll come back to it. For Zero, anything you're doing differently days 2, 3, 4?
I suppose I'd only just continue looking stuff up on the computer.
All right. Yeah. Give me. Do you have a topic that is interesting you in particular? Or if you want like just general news, feel free to give me a computers roll. I can give you some general stuff.
30.
All right. So over your days of searching, you pick up a couple of tidbits that are a lot more alarming than your original cursory glance through. When you're going into the Speep web, you find a couple of things that are alarming to you as someone who's at least familiar with the Pact Worlds. The stewards, who used to be the governing, how do I say this? The military support, the policing force. Let's go with the policing force of the Pact Worlds. They've been by and large eliminated by 2 different strikes that occurred. The space station that impacted on Absalom Station somehow got past magical defenses, smashed into the dome portion of Absalom Station, and decimated a large amount of the population there, which was mostly the wealthier people and like the people who were ruling class, things like that, the bureaucracy. That includes the steward's home base, which was completely and utterly destroyed by this. And also, while not struck by a space station, apparently there was a terrorist attack on Peace Watch, which is a fortress on Verces. That is where the stewards originally came from, but eventually, expanded out into the Pact world. The Peace Watch was apparently destroyed just prior to the pistol incident. Through some sort of terrorist, I think a cult was taking, a Versian cult was taking responsibility for it. But the stewards, in just about a span of days, went from the policing force to almost completely obliterated. The Pact Council also died on the strike on Absalom Station. So the actual governing body of the Pact Worlds, the elected representatives, almost completely gone, and that's what allowed the triumvirate to fill in the gaps. They came in hard and fast, like they would with a border planet, with relief aid, support, military protection from any possible outside threats. They came in just to offer their support, and they were praised as heroes, and have again taken some leadership roles there. Absalom Station specifically is run by the Gerson Sphere. You don't know the rest of that. Verces is the planet that was supposedly hit the hardest during the pistol incident, but mostly because of ancillary events that happened. And that's it. Yeah, I'll say that's what you get for now. That wasn't the only planet hit. Apparently, a colony disappeared into Eox, but the damage there was hard to tell because that planet's mostly dead to begin with. So thoughts are maybe that space station struck barren space and didn't cause anything, or the enhanced magical defenses of Eox being, populated by a bunch of space liches, maybe it was enough to prevent any catastrophe. But beyond that, that's the biggest picture of what you get.
All right.
Seeker, knowing Rise coming to you on day 3, anything you're doing day 2?
I would be.
Don't know that, but
Well, he doesn't know. Yeah.
I'd be looking up some information on Eox, specifically to do with any sort of terrorist activities or, like bad things going on.
computers check.
Yep. $19.
In terms of terrorist activity, you're not getting anything. There's definitely some eyebrows living in undead raised about the corpse fleet coming back and being welcomed with open arms. They were originally like an enemy of the Pact worlds, but apparently they've seen the error of their ways after the pistol incident and have been welcomed back with open arms. There was also, based on some issues with the Border Space Union, the original Eoxian leadership was apparently suspected of involvement with the pistol incident. They might have even been the ones that created the plague that was supposedly what had wiped out, infected everyone on Pistol. We're kind of going back to the end of season 1, some stuff there. But that leadership was kind of forcibly removed, and that's when the Corpse Fleet members came in. Otherwise, the only other thing notable out of Eox is that their game shows, which are broadcast throughout the Pact worlds, definitely looked down on by others, but not like something that they actively police. Their game shows are violent by nature. If you were to think of like their reality shows as like Survivor, it's Survivor plus like, cannibalism being a little accepted on the side, or like contestants actually not making it off the island, and that being how kind of the game comes to an end. Or if you guys have ever seen
Battle Royale.
What was that?
Battle Royale.
Maybe there is a show probably very close to Battle Royale, or was it The Running Man? Is that the Schwarzenegger film where there's like a game show, like trial court kind of thing? I might be mixing up the name of that movie. I can't remember. Either way, they'd have like really like violent and sometimes gory game shows, which are always supposed to be voluntary, and it is mostly living folks that take part in that. But they've had a recent boom in both viewership and attendance, or participants in their game shows. So Eox is flourishing in local media, and even some folks that are like, again, some of that's taboo stuff. They don't really want to see that. They don't like that. A lot of planets kind of shy away from Eoxian entertainment. Seems to be hitting a bigger market than ever before as well. All right. Miller, anything you'd be doing differently these days? 2, 3, 4.
Yes. So day two, Miller's getting a little bit restless. I mean, as great as he is at computers, that's not his shtick. So he's kind of like looking around the ship, maybe if he could find some like UPBs that he can mess around with.
Give me a perception check.
Sure. Perceptionizing now. 18.
Not the best roll, but maybe when you're going through some of those like smuggling compartments, you do find a like tucked away stash of like not very many UPBs, maybe 50 UPBs.
50. All right.
UPBs being universal polymer bases, they're used in crafting, or they can also be used as currency in Starfinder.
Cool. That really isn't much to do anything. On day 3, however, he's going to approach Rye.
Do you want this to be before Rye approaches Seeker or after?
After breakfast.
Okay, I'll say that that's probably before. So, okay, so after breakfast, Miller approaches Rye.
All right, Rye, we got to talk.
Am I? Oh, this is after breakfast.
Yes.
All right, so I'm not cooking and I'm
Is this
definitely
something you
not
want
cooking.
us to take headphones off?
No.
Okay. Well, it's good, Miller.
Not your food.
Yeah. So
I can cook a meal better than you while my eyes were closed, and it's killing me. It's quit killing us, probably literally.
well,
Wouldn't be the only
follow
time
me.
he's tried to kill me.
Follow me. And I bring him to the pantry and I open up a cupboard that is chock full of health pellets.
You could do plenty of this with just a little bit of water and different heat settings. This stuff is designed to be malleable. It's designed to do a lot of stuff.
What's your out of character? What's your life science score?
I actually have profession cooking.
Oh,
Yeah. So he kind of he's like, all right, look, he pulls down a few things, kind of mixes it around, throws it on the burner real quick. It's gonna be this.
Wait.
What?
I run away real quick.
Trying to teach him.
And then
Trying to teach him.
I am assuming, I'm totally making this up on the spot, that I have some sort of recording device.
Yeah. I mean, again,
that can
you're
with me through all these troubles.
Yeah. You've
'Cause
got
I'm vain.
You've got basically like an iPhone strapped to your wrist.
Okay, I run back with some like adhesive or like a selfie stick or something like that.
It's
that
a
I
selfie
place-
stick.
It's a selfie stick.
Yeah, it's a
that
selfie stick.
And I'm just holding over my shoulder. Continue.
All right. So he just kind of throws some stuff together, throws it on the burner real quick, and heats it up. This plus 9 is 13, so even better than what he had. Look, I just threw this together. Give this a taste. It's even better than what we had the other night.
What was the total score?
A 13.
It's
Okay.
not much better than your first attempt at things when you were.
But it was thrown together in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the last 2 attempts have just been bowls of health pellets. I say, okay. Okay, tough guy. Hold on a minute. Let me see how it's done. And I channel like this really bad classic TV Italian voice style cook that I saw on a program once when I was a kid. All right. This is I can do that. I can do that. I can do you one better. And go even better than that.
All right. Let's see. We got plenty of food here.
Oof.
Oh.
It
The
seems.
secret is I don't like brawl.
I just noticed that you took the exact same techniques I literally just showed you about 3 minutes ago and you applied them to your food. Now, please, if you're going to make breakfast, do it like this.
I'm just eating my own food no longer. Yeah.
It's pretty good. That's a pretty solid meal.
I have health pellets.
So secret is I out of character. My character can cook. He's just not an accomplished chef or anything like that. He's capable. He's just, you can tell he's clearly frustrated. and the ingredients aren't there
Well, I mean,
and under stress and
yeah,
different.
and then of course again Milla, who is basically a chef eating
Did
crap
not
food.
know that.
Yeah.
Out of character. I did not know that.
I don't think Miller's ever brought it up. Like he's watched you make food, he's watched Rex make food. Like it's never been great.
Food art.
I think
I
he
made
tried
food,
to
yeah.
Seeker,
wanted
food
to
art.
getting
Mostly because he's got better things to do, and everybody else wants to. Actually, there is other reasons, but it's never come up in conversation.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I'm totally okay with it. It's fine that you're just learning this talent now, or you Rye's learning about the talent now. I'm totally okay with that.
So, and then as I'm walking out, next time we'll get better camera angles. We'll do quiche, huh? Quiche, huh?
Quiche.
Capiche. And then I walk out.
Capiche. What does that even mean?
Bam.
Anything else, Miller?
I'll
In the
wait
background
to
here.
see what happens on day 4 before I do anything.
Okay. Rye, day 3, have your combo.
Sure. Can I ask that during these days of travel, just because the only thing I've mentioned so far is the not mind control, mind reading.
Yeah.
He'd also like to study up on um, the art culture of Verses, as far as like any famous plays or stories that would have come out, or poems, or whatever the local performers would do, if there is anything in Verses that they would have done.
100%. Yeah. Give me a computer check. See what you're able to look up.
Would that be culture check or computer check? Or well, I have a profession for that too.
So the problem is because you're not on the planet. Well, I guess you'd be going for stuff like pre-pistol incident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Give me culture. We'll do culture. This is all going to be specifically older timey stuff.
29.
All right. And what exactly you're looking for? I've got to play, I've got to play. Did you want more than that?
I think I'd basically tried, instead of trying to learn like a whole thing, I'd probably want to familiarize myself with songs of the area, or
Famous musicians, famous actors.
Yeah. Like the basically I want to go in there.
Did you know this person was from Verses?
Yeah, and to have the ability to channel that when it comes to talking with people, it breaks down walls and borders and etc.
All right. I'll say that you're probably pretty familiar with, we'll call it their most famous play, which includes musical numbers and run by some of their more famous actors. It is hold. let me Google something that isn't absolutely awful in terms of play. Let's see. That didn't really help me.
Killiam Wakespeare.
No, that's awful. Patrick has unplugged himself somehow.
Again.
That's all right. No great loss.
No, I can't hear you.
We hear a lot of.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Sorry, my USB came undone again.
That's
What?
what he
It's
said.
coming undone.
Wait.
The play is just
Justinian said that.
the play is just called the caste system. Cast or caste?
Cast.
Cast. Okay, going with cast. The caste system. It is a play, so you get like a bit of the culture of it, devoted to the ancient caste system of Verses, which featured 3 separate and diverse groups. And it was all around, the play specifically was about marriages. You couldn't marry, you could only marry a certain caste based on what your past was. Actually, I have that. They were the purists, the augmented, and I cannot remember the third one for some reason. Hold, I should have that pretty close to here, because that's kind of good. That's good stuff to go for. Let's see. Don't mind me. Rigid caste system, the augmented who embraced technological and magical modification of their bodies, the god vessels who channeled the god's power and permanently branded themselves as holy symbols, and the pure ones, I'm sorry, not the purest, the pure ones who eschewed augmentation and divine magic alike, instead focusing on agriculture and governance. Traditionally, the augmented and god vessels were only allowed to marry pure ones to maintain the balance of the system. In recent days, that's like way defunct. That's super old timey, weird, a little cringy. But a lot of the things that were born from that, including like multiple marriages, instead of 1-to-1, they do 1-to-1 to 1-to-1 so that they could marry the person in the caste they wanted by having a couple intermediaries in their marriage. That's all carried over to like common day setting. This play is about one of these marriages being orchestrated to basically get this version of Romeo and this version of Juliet that were maybe both of the same cast together. Otherwise, because that's not possible. In terms of the actor, the primary actors, we will go with
Who's the most charismatic, most handsome, the best?
you want male or female?
Whichever one is the most popular, the most beloved by the people.
Technically, that would be, again, that's pretty diverse. I'll give you that they have an actress that was highly sought after and played this, again, Juliet stand-in role. I guess technically anti-Juliet, the way I kind of describe that play. And her name, she's Verthani, which is no, Verthani, is that what it was? What's the name of their species? Residents. Yeah, Verthani. Verthani, they are 8-foot tall humanoids with protruding mouse-like black eyes and skin colors that can be shifted at will to display complex patterns. And this actress's name, or at least their stage name that they ended up being known by, was Starsung and Goldbrow. Starsung Goldbrow was their stage name. Whether or not they had like a personal name that they actually used off the stage, unimportant to your search.
So definitely won't be able to go in costume for that, but
I disagree.
alrighty. I can become an 8-foot tall, mouse-eyed, strange person.
Yeah, just put me on your shoulders.
I think for Thani, we're in the Alien Archive. Let's see if I can pull something up for that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's all I wanted out of that. It's I'm not gonna like. I don't have any plans for this. I just want something in my back pocket so that when meeting the locals, I have a cultural point to anchor myself to.
You've got something. Yeah, you've got like a pretty good gist of their like kind of old school stuff. Again, they're not like the biggest fans of their. Yeah, Verthani, little weird looking. They do look humanoid, but their eyes are very like almost monochrome black throughout. That's not too bad though. I think you could pull it off if you really needed to.
Okay, so this is day 3 then, right?
Yep.
All right. So at some point in time, while walking through the halls, I telepathically reach out to Seeker, and I say telepathically, and in my impatient voice from the very beginning of our campaign, Seeker,
Ooh, hello, Rai.
I believe that you have some information that you wish to give to me.
I do?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Are you?
Hold. This is telepathic.
This is telepathic.
Could I have everyone other than the two involved remove their headphones? Thank you.
Are you? Wait, are we like face to face? Like we with each other?
Well, I see you. We're in the same room, whether people are in there or not.
Oh.
It would be, this would not be, in my case, obvious. I would be looking at a book.
Are you, mixing up information you want from me with information that I want to give you? 'Cause I think you are.
I don't believe I am.
Well, I did tell you I'd tell you later. So, why don't you meet me in my room that I'm staying in about 5 minutes.
Fine.
And I go to the room.
I don't wait the 5 minutes. I just show up right behind him.
Okay.
Well, I was trying to keep it secret, but okay. So you go into the room.
Yeah.
What is it you would like to know?
Literally everything.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what happened during the gap time, but, I mean, at one point the universe was created.
Not everything.
Okay, that's what you just said.
These sighs are telepathic as well. Sika,
Right.
what is the deal with you and Krellis? Why are you suspicious of Zero? Should I be? And why so many secrets?
Oh, right. You know, I really did not want to have this conversation with you. I really, especially after everything that happened with you and Brawl. It's just so much drama already. I didn't want to make any more, you know what I mean? But, you know, Seeker walks kind of in front of Rai and, just like a little flick of his finger, locks the door, and says, it's really a shame we had to have this conversation right now. I'm sorry.
I'm sensing motive. Because this is the weirdest thing he's ever done.
I
Yeah.
can sense that motive from
He,
here, man.
Oh my god!
Seeker smiles
Oh,
and
that's the
goes.
worst roll I could have possibly done.
Seeker smiles and goes entirely invisible. The next thing you know, you are slammed up against the door, against the wall, and you hear
I would normally have rolls here, but I'm gonna let you do this.
Slammed up against the wall. Seeker appears again, holding you by the collar, with one hand next to your head, as you hear a loud, or actually only loud because it's right next to your head, mechanical buzzing noise as he has nanobots flying around his hand. Listen, Rai. I didn't want to do this. And you know, I don't have any problems with you. In fact, I actually kind of like you. But this is business. I need you to swear to me that you will be loyal, that you will help me, and maybe I'll let you live. But if you cross me, if you try to bring this up between other people, I won't hesitate to kill you. Do you understand?
Timeout. Out of character.
Yep.
Timeout a minute.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Language.
You are evil.
That hasn't been addressed
Nope,
yet.
it hasn't.
Even now.
God damn it.
Let's not leave the guys hanging.
So,
too long.
Rai,
Yeah.
I will tell you everything, but I need you to be on my side.
Well, I can't.
I don't care if you know what's going on yet.
Do Justin, since I'm not familiar with what the nanobots do,
You've seen
that's
them
my
use them
spell.
before. They're pretty violent.
what
Yep.
do they do again?
48 damage and confusion.
4d8 damage, 8, 16. Have I healed?
No.
Yeah.
No, you slept for 3 days. You've healed 5 health each day, I think. So yeah, you're probably fine.
All right, hold on 1 minute. Yeah,
But-
I'm back to full health.
In terms of not gaming the system, this
I'm
is
not
still
trying to
very
game the
threatening.
system. I just need to know whether I'm. Yeah, no, this is very threatening. And I respond, I don't know what you're doing. Frankly, I don't appreciate it. Will admit a little bit on the scary side, but I don't know as though it makes. How could one agree to something like that? One, under these conditions.
Do you want to
know
die?
the directive?
Is the question. Do you want to die?
Do you want to kill people? How are you going to explain that one to anyone? I highly suggest you let me go.
I don't care about explaining things to people.
Can I do another sense motive? The sense motive originally was to try to see if I was falling into a trap.
Give it just to keep it moving.
25.
I will answer for you, Justin.
Mhm.
Yeah, he'll kill you,
He
and
will
has
kill
absolutely no concerns about the other party finding out.
Well, this is highly upsetting. However, I don't wish to die today. So whatever it is you need to know or hear for me to not do that. Let's go, buddy.
You know, I know you're a coward. So I kind of figured you'd say that.
I like to think resourceful. Ouch.
But
Thought
just
we were
know
friends.
that if you do cross me, I'm not against doing what I need to do.
Killing me. Yeah. I got you.
All right,
He
give him some
lowers
skinny
his
details.
hand. Huh?
Give
Yep.
him some skinny.
Yep. So Seeker lowers his hand and kind of backs off a bit. My name is NAT Prime. I am an assassin and bounty hunter from Cosmos. I am tracking a very, very dangerous
Pat, if you're gonna
terrorist
type while you take notes, mute it.
named NAT0. He was the last of my line. I have reason to suspect that Zero is that same terrorist. In order to chase him, I had to undergo a fake renewal, just as apparently my quarry has also done. And as you know, Zero has also done quite recently. But basically, you don't need to know all the details, but I'm after Zero. Or I suspect Zero at least. Krellis is another bounty hunter that I've worked with in the past. Not on much, just brushed shoulders with occasionally. Hence why Krellis has a little bit of a history with. And she's whatever, very skeptical about my Seeker persona. Which, by the way, is still part of me, so you kind of have that to thank for not being dead right now. You're muted.
At least once a week. At least
I
once
just
a
love that he
week.
did it in the voice.
I don't remember what I said. Oh, I think I said, great.
In the interest of getting the guys back in here ASAP, anything else you want to go for that?
We can probably continue
Yeah,
it at a different point.
do
so
you
that they can
have-
come back.
So what I need from you is total cooperation. help me bring down Zero, or whoever else this may be. If it's not Zero, then I can probably tell the rest of you about this whole operation. So if we disprove Zero, there won't be any more secrets.
I do have questions, but I don't want to
Yep.
stall them anymore. I don't know how you want to work that out, Dustin.
We
'cause
will
it has to
do.
continue at some point.
We'll do a jump back. We'll do next episode. Oh, you're not gonna be here next episode. We will have it come up the next time we do the regular stream. We'll do the intro session. We'll jump into you guys being headphoneless again, or you guys being headphoned again, for a brief thing. That'll give you time to prep stuff too.
Okay, So in the interest of story mechanics, there's a cut, and then we do leave the scene, and then we'll have a earlier on, and we'll finish, and that will give us time to actually.
Yeah, and then because you're going to be out for a whole week in conjunction of this, yeah, it'll be 2 weeks. You're right. You get to have something prepared in terms of questions. Feel free to talk it out between you guys so we can get it done really quickly, because I don't want to make the other guys suffer any longer than we have to. I'm going to call them in now.
Hello.
Hey guys.
You'll never believe this, guys, but he's secretly a pancake.
Sorry for the delay.
Pancake.
That one's been brewing for a while. That wraps up, I think, day 3 for everybody. Moving on to day 4. Does anyone have any final things they do before you guys exit the drift and start entering the Verses system? It looks like Miller has something, so I'm going to start with him.
All right. So Miller calls up Zero, calls up Justinian, and brings them both into the same room. You don't have to take out the headphones.
Well, I imagine we're both in the cockpit if you just rather come to there.
Yeah. All right. So it walks into the cockpit.
No, that's the captain. That's the captain's room.
Oh, okay. All right. I was confused. So he kind of walks in and says, "All right, boys, what is the plan when we get to the planet tomorrow?"
I looked at Justinian. Do you have coordinates for me?
Whereabouts are we going to land? Dustin,
You're muted.
Oh, I'm not muted at all. I'm thinking. Thank you very much.
You look like
Thinking
you're-
with your mouth moving, right?
Wait, am I not in this conversation?
I'm not in it either, so.
Yeah, but you don't do much.
Do you see
Fair.
that?
I'm not entirely sure how we're going to handle arrival on Verses. We're going to play a little bit by ear. In previous runs, you're okay once you get past security.
All right. Well, let's learn more about security. What do we expect in you?
Oh, at least one warship just kind of hovering about. Full complement of itty or bitty or starships, and maybe one of their lovely, I believe they're calling them rusts. They're big robot people that you seem to collect. We'll be doing a little bit of the talking, getting them kind of off the scent. We think we're going with a pilgrim angle this time. Yeah, I haven't done that one in a while. And I mean, we are going to pay respects, maybe. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think we can swing it.
Right.
I'm going to need you guys to hide in some of these here smuggling compartments, though. Don't want you to get picked up on scans.
Okay, so these compartments, then they are somehow excluded from scans.
Oh yeah, the one on the floor has aura of death. You look like a couple of corpses, but they're not looking for that.
Gotcha. All
Picked
right.
it up, reverse engineered some Eoxian tech. I felt pretty good about that one myself. I didn't do it, but I liked the idea.
What's the chances that they'll board the ship?
Depends how convincing I am.
Have you ever been boarded before?
Well, that's a very personal question.
I mean, you did board Rye.
Once or
Hey.
twice, I suppose.
Okay. What do we do if that happens?
We'd rather think about it when it happens.
When it happens, not if.
Potato, potato.
Potato, potato. Yeah, he got it. About where are we landing?
Well, I'm hoping wherever Brawl says his hometown's from, I can drop you off.
All right.
Grab the nearest spaceport, assuming
Yeah.
there are any spaceports in the area still.
All right. And assuming all goes well, we hit there. We check around for a couple days. What's our plan to get off the ship or get off the planet?
Give me a ring. We'll come pick you up. I'll keep the engines hot.
How about security on the way out?
I think it'd be more. I think it'd be less secure going out than it would be coming in, right?
No, I think it might even be more secure.
Well, it depends what you're trying to do. And it depends on how much you piss them off. If we're just going lickety split in and out, it shouldn't be too bad. Again, at that point, we're not trying to get anywhere in particular. We can go in any direction. Should be okay.
All right.
However, at that point, if we have pissed them off enough, they'll be shooting to kill, which is a little bit different than the other way. So it's a little tricky.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else? Do you remember the name of the resistance group that we were looking for?
Oh, I'm not sure they had much of a name, to be honest with you. Folks just call them what they feel's right, I suppose. Resistance is the nice term. Filthy sneaking rebels, probably what you hear around Gerson Sphere folks.
They call them rebels and not terrorists.
Well, we don't think they've actually successfully destroyed anything, so terrorists would be a little bit extreme. Although I'm sure they're just waiting for their time to label them, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Again, most of that's a little bit of rumors. When they contact us, I think they've always referred to themselves as allies. They're really pitching a song and dance there, if you can picture it.
Oh, I can picture it. All right. Well, what's the plan? We doing this first thing tomorrow morning. We got to line up in these floorboards here, and hope for the best.
Well, I think that's the best idea we can come up with. Yeah.
All right. Our lives are in your hands, sir, he says as he walks out of the room.
Anyone else have any pre-exiting the drift shenanigans?
For this day, Zero would like to look up anything on resistances, like on any planet, not just on Verces. Like any groups that are looking to oppose that maybe aren't united.
Yeah, give me a computer check.
Uh, 29.
You get bits and pieces of rumors. You hear that maybe some of the surviving stewards didn't take kindly to the Border Space Union moving in, and maybe have been like heard through rumor mill to be having some sort of armed resistance. The pirate activity has actually picked up a bit more since the Gerson Sphere's kind of control. There are some people who think that the Eoxian games seem a little bit different lately and are concerned about that. So you hear like kind of rumors like anti that, which there's always like groups that are anti these live sports. But these seem to be getting a little bit more traction as well. In terms of organized rebellion, though, you're not getting anything. There isn't, to speak, an organized rebellion. There's not like a Gerson Sphere hit on a particular group. It's either just not big enough or it's that secret, which is useful intel, even though it's not giving you much. It is useful to know that they're not on the Gerson Sphere's radar if there is an actual out-and-out resistance. Anything else?
No, that's probably be it.
Okay. Any of the other party want to do something before we get into the versus bit?
Nope.
Fantastic. Following the plan as Destinian laid it out with Miller, you guys kind of all cram into a couple of the floorboard compartments that do seem to have a little bit more tech built into them, and these are for smuggling live beings. You can kind of draw
They
whatever.
smell like death.
No. It's very.
Are Brawl and Ryan the same one?
I would say probably not. I mean, you guys are able to choose your own boxes. I don't think you guys would be that silly. As you approach Verces, you pop out of the drift. The space closes in, expands. You appear in real space. The planet Verces is a pretty unique sight. It is a tidally locked planet, which is to say it does not rotate. It always stays in the same spot as it kind of rotates the system's sun, meaning that it has very distinct biomes. We've got like a band of ice, a band of like greenery, and a band of straight up barren desert. And these are the kind of three distinct areas that make up Verces. The Ring of Nations, which is a crazy high population point, is the entire green strip that runs kind of all the way around the planet, just like the ice runs all the way around the planet and the desert runs all the way around the planet. These Ring of Nations, they're made up of massive cities. They're made up of like really beautiful looking fields and well kept areas. The cities are some of the most advanced you'll find in the Pact Worlds. Many of them have a high favor for the peak technology around. So you see the most modern kind of cars. If you were to get a little bit close, like the space cars, all that fun stuff, the transports, things like that. It's very much like a very modern planet. A couple of things you guys pick up on right away. There is a large Border Space Union Gerson Sphere warship in place, kind of orbiting the planet slowly, doing frequent and constant scans of the area. There's a bit of ship traffic going down to the planet, and it is tightly controlled. There's no like free landing on the planet. No one seems to be breaking any like to try and break out of any kind of like line setup. Like everyone's kind of following really regimented scale to get into the planet proper. And some ships are even turned away as you're watching, and they leave the system amicably, but it's not quite an everyone goes kind of thing. There is something called, I'm trying to look for it. It's called Sky Dock. It is a giant orbital platform that is connected to the planet by like a giant column tether, basically. It's a little outdated in terms of use. It used to be how they got stuff off planet, and now with the advanced ship designs, ships can pretty much do it on their own. But it's still like a notable feature of the planet. It is under special lockdown. There are a couple of smaller Gerson Sphere warships kind of around that, and it almost looks like there might be some like construction, which you can notice even from space because of like the massive scope of this giant tower thing, which does go into again like breaks atmo basically. Yeah, I think that's kind of the description. And you, Dustinian sits he's actually piloting. Unfortunately, Zero, you are tucked in a floor panel. You guys might have like video access to what he's doing. They probably don't want you guys to be completely blind down there, since they do use this for smuggling themselves as often as anything else. You guys can kind of watch along and hear over the internal comms of the ship that Dustinian is, joining the queue to get inspected, and over the comms, you guys kind of hear some garbled Border Space Union authentication. Like they're looking for codes, they're looking for, reason for visiting and everything. And Dustinian keeps his calm and just talks about how they are going on a pilgrimage. They're looking to visit Kashak and make their peace with some lost family members, which is plausible and pretty standard. We're gonna do some hidden rolls to see how well his bluffing is.
Lost?
What?
Lost family members?
Yeah, that's what he said. He rolled a natural 20. So yeah, he actually managed to sneak you guys.
Really convincing, considering he's talking about multiple people when there's nobody else showing up on the ship.
He does eventually have to cover himself with that, and he speaks only of himself now in the multiple, the plural person, because they do catch him on that. But he was so convincing they let it slide, and there's enough weird alien like species where maybe they do have a dual nature. Thank you, Michael. And you guys are able to gain access to Verces relatively easy. No huff, no puff. Ships are scanned but return nothing. This is something they've done before. Is really the vocal component that could be an issue. As you guys get past the ship and land, like kind of get into the atmosphere, Destinian has you guys all come up to the cockpit. You guys are good now to take over. He slides over the seat to 0 and begins kind of giving directions. And in terms of where you guys kind of pop out, we'll say you come out maybe over the Dustlands, which is like the big desert area. It's called actually Fulbright because it's always facing the sun, which is why it's a scorched wasteland. And then the opposite side, which is, I forget the dark side. That was easy. Dark side is that kind of like frozen frigid because it's always facing away from the sun. You guys come in Fulbright and slowly make your way over to the kind of nation area of Kashak. The major city there, which I cannot remember the name of.
Nabokun.
Is that Nabokan? Okay. The Brawl's family would have been pretty well north of that. There's like a bit of like a massive kind of river that's marked there that kind of goes into the Great Trade Sea. I'd say they probably would have made their village to like that actual like river area, which is kind of separating the border to the next nation to the actually, is that the north? Hold on, where's my compass?
Papukar?
Yeah, Thapukar, which is to the north. So you're kind of on the border there. As you get over Kashak, it almost looks like the deserts of Fulbright have almost started to reclaim that area and spread from the very clear delineated band into this like semi-pockmarked and like a cratered partial wasteland of Kashak itself. Thank you for whoever's drawing the art. Basically,
You're
goes into
welcome.
that. The capital city of Kashak, specifically obliterated. A smoking crater, no longer smoking, but like an active crater into the land there. Going north, it does look like some sort of giant structure impacted in multiple places, going straight up north into the border of Thapukar. The nation itself, you see like signs of rebuilding and signs of like people kind of around the outskirts of this devastation. But in terms of the path where your village was, Brawl, specifically, it's more of this pockmarked, obliterated wasteland. Even doing a flyby of where your town was, there really isn't anything. It does look like the dome didn't strike the planet as a single like functioning entity. It looks like it might have been broken up and then smashed all throughout this nation. Probably some guesses to that would be the planetary defenses kicking in. Orbital drops aren't necessarily unheard of as a strategy. This one obviously came by surprise and potentially had some other things going on, considering you guys have some background knowledge, or at least Zero does.
Justin, you might want to switch the view so that everybody can see the whatchamacallit, roll 20.
There you go.
Thank
Cool.
you. Yeah, Fulbright's the desert, dark side's the ice, and then you've got the Ring of Nations, which is the green, and Kashak is lower left on that map. And right, the for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like the defenses managed to completely stop the structure falling on the actual capital, which is probably what the target was. But it did cause devastation pretty much throughout the nation. The nation's still functioning and still standing, but a lot of their major cities were quite destroyed. As a nation, Kashak was known to be kind of like home of the augmented, and it was the most technologically advanced area on the planet, to the point where some of the residents were nigh immortal because they had actually, like, through technological and some magical like technomancy means, infuse themselves into their buildings, which isn't a completely uncommon feature for these like excessively tech-minded individuals. One of the exports, one could say, of Verces is actually pilots permanently bonded and like infused into starships.
Like Mr. House style?
Mr. House style, I guess could be a little bit. Yeah, he's kind of plugged in there. But these people were permanently in place, and they were also some of the biggest movers and shakers in the Pact world. Through drones and agents, they would really influence a lot of things because they were super wealthy, super advanced. And now, for the most part, they're a smoking crater in the ground. You guys are given instructions to land. There is a kind of an emergency construct spaceport. It is closer to Thapukar, so again, it keeps you guys relatively close to where Brawl's Village was. I'd say no more than a day's travel by like a air speeder, which you guys can pick up without any problem. They've got when you guys land on the planet, there are a lot of Gerson Sphere and Border Space Union forces kind of all mixed into this area, and they seem to be performing relief efforts to a certain degree. Now, it's been a year since this impact happened, so these relief efforts have definitely diminished in terms of actual trying to fix anything. Now it's like they have like rehab shelters or like homeless facilities or different areas for people to go that have been displaced, and they're trying to get to reintegrate elsewhere on the planet. But there are some groups, part of the Gerson Sphere, who are devoted to helping people kind of make their way into these devastated areas so that they do have the opportunity to potentially learn about what happened to their families or recover some things from their past lives. It seems like the magical protection of the planet did manage to stop any kind of nuclear fallout that might have come from a space station falling on it. It does seem to be mostly just they couldn't stop the physical impact in time.
All right.
I'm assuming you guys charter a land vehicle of some kind, and they take you out to Brawl's Village. I don't think I actually named Brawl's Village. Feel free to come up with it if you'd like, Brawl. Do you guys have any questions? The driver is someone who's kind of dressed in like a basic like medic attire, but like military medic attire, and with a Gerson Sphere logo on it, which I don't know if we've given it, but it's a G with a circle with some kind of angular design.
Miller's gonna be sitting next to Brawl, just kind of hand over the shoulder. You ready to do this, buddy?
Brawl just nods. He's being quite anxious at the moment.
Okay.
It's okay, Brawl. You've got all of us here with you. We're all your friends.
Yes, every one of us. We're all friends. We're all the team. Go team.
I hope that's not sarcastic, Rye.
Talking to the driver, Zero's going to ask, was there any type of information network set up for people to find missing family members?
Yeah, it's probably what we get visited for most from people who are just coming back to the planet, especially with all of the traffic restrictions. I'm glad you guys were able to get through. I'll take you out to the town, see what we see, and then we can head back to the base camp and we can check to see what we have for listed survivors. Not everyone maybe made it on the list, so we try to get people out there when we can first, just in case people went to rehab at their old homes or whatever's left of them. The person you're speaking to is probably a Verthani, but in the Gerson Sphere outfits.
I guess so. This is kind of maybe in character, maybe out of character a little bit. I'd like to see
One.
No, why not both? They got rid of insight, right? So what would it be? A sense motive, I suppose. Not that I expect anything to come of it, but I'd like to see how, like, if this person recognizes us at all.
Yeah, sure.
I got a 7, so probably not.
Yeah, you don't pick up anything. They seem, as far as you can tell, genuine. You don't detect any like fallacies or lies coming from them, but you're just not sure. All right, you guys get to the site where Brawl's home village was. When I say village, I mean it was like a small city. You are met with at best cratered lands, toppled skyscrapers, Entire city blocks just smeared across the ground. Not much has been done to reclaim this particular area. It's not central to Kashak, and Thapukar isn't like taking any ownership of it. The Ring of Nations is pretty separate in terms of the nations. There isn't even like a structure standing where your home would have been, Brawl. It is, again, pockmarked with twisted metal still stabbing into the land itself.
This is not a good sign.
Give me a perception check, everybody.
I can do that.
12.
22.
20.
26.
Zero got that 26.
In terms of what you guys see, Brawl, you see, like, kicking through some debris, like you find like discarded and charred children's toys, and you, after digging a little bit too much, maybe even find like a family of skeletons buried under some rubble, and you kind of stop searching at that point.
Yep, that would make me stop.
Ryan, Zero, and Miller all notice a little bit more the people in the area, because there are people going through these ruins. They're scavengers. These aren't people trying to make or reclaim a living. These aren't lost family members searching for loved ones anymore. These are adventurers like yourselves. These are some shadier looking folks that maybe came in from Fulbright. What?
Looters.
Looters, in addition to all of that as well. Again, there are like adventuring parties who are, looking for salvage. There's scavengers, and there's definitely looters. This has been a full year since the actual impact, so anyone who maybe tried living here probably did relocate.
Miller, he looks for he looks for the closest person to him, and he kind of flags him down.
Sure.
Excuse me.
This will be a, you flag the nearest Yosoki down, and you get a grizzled, older-looking Yosoki female who comes over. She's got, in place of one of her legs, she has basically a metallic peg leg, but instead of like your traditional 1 point that walks, it has like little spider leg mechanical digits at the end of it that kind of crawl along as she takes her steps. One of her eyes has been replaced with a cybernetic eye, and she probably has like some kind of shoulder pack that's all mechanically done up and looks like it maybe houses some other units in there, but are right now put away. And she comes over to you amicably enough.
All right. What's going on, my cousin? I like what you did there, and he kind of points to the leg there. That's did you do that yourself, or?
Went to one of the technomancers for it, but thank you kindly for noticing. Your arm is of admirable craftsmanship as well.
Thank you. I designed this one myself. And then he goes in for the Yosoki handshake. So we're here after a year of trying to get here. We heard about the crash and everything. I was wondering, do you know if there's any like some sort of a place where any of the survivors might have gone to? I have one of our cousins here was he had family here. He was wondering if any survivors.
She looks at Brawl. A knowing look comes over her face, and she says, unless they were out of town. And when I say out of town, I mean out of nation. They're probably not here anymore. However, head back to the base camp. They've got a relief center. They got a computer terminal that has a list of people who've checked in as being alive. And as long as you can prove that you're family, you can get access to an address if they have one.
All right. Where's this? Where is this place?
You probably actually came from it with the transport.
Oh,
they like to do this song and dance so that when they disappoint you, you see why.
I gotcha.
They think it's a mercy, but not sure. I personally agree.
All right. Do you know who the head person in charge is over there?
Not personally. I'm here on business.
Gotcha. Business, you say? I'm a businessman myself. Anything I can help out with?
You look a little bit nicer term of businessman. I'm gonna say probably not.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for your help.
Thank
You have a
you for
great
the
day.
offer. Have as good a day as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to Cuz.
Yeah.
She slinks off.
All right. Well, we kind of head back to the group. All right. Well, if we go back to camp, there's a computer terminal that we can actually use, Brawl, and you have to prove that your family.
Ah, perfect bait for Krellis.
Exactly. Well, not even just perfect bait for him, but perfect bait for, big brother.
Entering the names in general, maybe.
I don't
Yeah.
have any big brothers.
Oh, Sika.
Seeker, with your perception check, all you saw was a lot of pretty colors spread across a lot of landscape. Just a heads up. You sick bastard.
Now, does he actually? Do you make comment on that?
Oh
no, probably not.
Yeah, do
A
you?
Seeker roll?
Yeah, you sure you don't need a seeker roll?
Actually,
Seeker
that's
will
a
check.
good point.
Oh,
You
My
know,
heart.
even though this is absolutely horrible, it is kind of, there is a sort of derelict beauty in it all. You know, everybody scurrying around and trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Seeker, do you know what those are? Do you know who they are? Like I just pull Seeker aside. Do you know what's going on?
Well, what
I
are you
just-
referring to?
Oh,
I just sit back and wait for the charge of an angry rat.
those are scavengers trying to find stuff from dead people, and we are, ixnay on the seekerisms.
I have no idea what you mean by that, but what? I don't even know what Xnay is. That's not even a word.
Moving
I know
on.
like 5 languages, and that's not in any of them.
Moving on, because it is at 10:30 right now.
Oh wow, that crept up quick.
I want you guys to strategize on what your next step is. You guys have already identified my trap card, so you're probably not going to fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys do need to somehow present like that your family, if you are going to. If you guys go further north, back to this base camp, there is more civilization up there, and you can get into regular cities, regular things like that. So if you want to try other strategies outside of base camp, you can totally do that. I just want you guys to come up with a plan on how you're going to try and get this information, and relatively quickly.
So you just kind of spoilery said they're alive.
If I did, I probably am lying. It's more so that I don't think Brawl's going to let it rest if he doesn't have final answers. If Brawl's okay with seeing the smeared pancake home, I'm okay with that. But otherwise, if he needs to know for sure, it's going to have to come through some other areas.
he probably needs to know.
Rye's pissed right now.
Because I didn't charge Seeker.
No, well, Rai is angry because this is a complete waste of time under the pressures of the Krella situation.
That would have gotten a charge.
2,
Out loud, yes.
because wait, I'm not muted. Yeah, good. 2, because what the hell? He just called your pain beautiful, and you're in the background looking at broken pots.
Well, To be fair, I was more talking about the landscape of.
I don't
I'm
care about your fairness.
more really talking about the general situation,
I
not
think
Brawl
Rye
and
has
his family.
so
But
many
here's the thing,
reasons
though.
to
Brawl
be
is pretty
angry.
morally defeated right now.
And Brawl kind of knows Seeker's antics.
That's true.
I mean, he did help him. He did help him make deface Archie's thing. There, he helped him make eggs.
Seeker has
you
also
know,
been very empathetic
twisted-
Is
towards
he
Brawl.
unfamiliar with Rye's antics?
Pause, gentle beings.
Oh, he's
pause.
very
We can talk
familiar.
about we can talk about this
Super
later. We can
This
talk
is
about this
after
later.
party conversation.
Yeah.
I have to pee so bad that I want to get to this last bit. Have that plan going into our next episode. Next week is our special villains episode, shadow like precursor back in. That's effed up, Chris, Nick, whatever.
All right, guys. Rivalry.
When we get into next week, so we'll have a break to figure out what actually is going on with the family. You guys have 2 weeks to figure out a game plan. For now, I was going to leave with everyone. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you
Listening.
guys enjoyed some of the more interesting antics of the show. And if you like the headphones off, people having secrets, let me know. If not, please let us know either Twitter, Discord, YouTube comments, whatever. Up until next week with our special Let's Be Bad Guys episode, I want to remind everyone to please never split the party.
Yeah, Brawl.
Yeah, me.
Hat
Brawl,
trick.
damn it.
All right,
Wasted
J-Man,
time.
send us to the after party. I'm going to go tinkle, and then I'll come back and we'll